If I don't say this.
Hey everyone that's watching. I decided to make a video documentary to explain specifically what happened to me when I was in Maui. And I've had a lot of people ask what happened, and I want to be able to answer this question all at once. Sadly, I've even had some people kind of ignore me and like not understand because they didn't know the severity of the situation. And I didn't die. I'm very grateful that I'm here today to tell my story. It's exhausting to tell everybody what happened over and over again. And at the beginning, I was way too emotional and would break down crying anytime anybody asked. So now I'm able to tell the story. I feel strong enough to give you the full story. So for those of you wondering, we're gonna take it way back. And here's what really happened. So I was born and raised in Hawaii. I lived there until I was 13 years old and lived on both Maui and Oahu. My mom comes from a family of 8, and my cousins were all my best friends. In the 7th grade, my parents told me that we were leaving Hawaii to go move to Texas, and majority of my cousins were moving with me too. But 2 of my cousins moved back to Hawaii and decided to start their families there. And so they've been living in Hawaii for a while, and then it was 12 years later until I could finally go back and visit them and go back to visit my hometown of Lahaina. So this past spring break, I planned a trip to go visit my cousins Grizel and Janice. It happened to be kind of like a solo trip because I decided to use my own money, my own miles, and was excited to explore Hawaii all on my own. Janice has since married Top Chef and contestant and Hawaii celebrity Sheldon Simeon. And Sheldon means, Janice kind of has some connections to see some of the cool things. So we planned out some excursions and adventurous things to do while we were visiting. We planned to go zip lining, we planned to go hiking at Hana, and we planned to go snorkeling. We were so stoked to spend time together as a family, but also to explore the island in ways that we had never done before. Prior to coming on this trip, I experienced a minor accident with my middle finger. It's pretty good now, but a little bit cut still, can't even see. And then I had a week being sick with bronchitis. So I had some bad luck. So I actually started living in California with my new job. I moved away from Texas a while back. And so my roommates in California and I were kind of joking around that was already 2 strikes and bad things happen in 3s. But little did I know that the first day I was gonna have a very scary, unintentional near-death experience. My first day in Hawaii was really fun and it was going super well. I got to see my old elementary school. I got to eat at Tin Roof, which is Sheldon's restaurant, for the first time. And you know what? I'll stop there. I'm going to make a whole separate video that's about the great and happy things I got to experience in Hawaii when I was there. Regardless of the accident, I had a great time. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for the video that comes next. That morning, my cousin's husband Matt invited me to go ride mopeds with them. I knew that it was a completely free offer because he worked for the moped company. And I thought, why not? Because it's another once-in-a-lifetime experience. Grizel was originally going to come out with us, and she's Matt's wife. But it turned out she had to go to work instead. So it was just me and Matt training at the local 808 Mopeds location. Way before I met up with Matt, I actually was driving back from Kahului and after I ate from Tin Roof, and I called my parents telling them that I was going to try riding mopeds. I had this romantic view of everybody rides mopeds and drives around Maui. It's like a cool thing. And so I was like, I'm definitely gonna do it. Why not? But my dad's on the phone with me and he's so protective all the time. And so of course he told me, it's dangerous, you can't do that. You barely even know how to ride a bike. Which is true, I'm kind of a rollerblader. And so instead, he's telling me, you can't do that, why are you gonna learn? And I was like, Matt's gonna teach me, don't worry, it's his job, it'll be fine. And I literally told him, "You're being paranoid. Just because people get in moped accidents doesn't mean it would happen to me." Now back to when I was training with Matt. He definitely helped me feel very comfortable. And I believe that he taught me the basics of how do you ride the moped, and at the best rate that he could. You know, we actually spent a lot of time, like way longer than he spends with most people. We did training for like an hour and a half before we went on the road. I started to get really confident and it was starting to go really well. And he told me we were gonna go on a scenic route. And my gosh, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I recorded a little bit on my GoPro, but it was dying, so it didn't get too far. But you can see how my riding went a little bit in this video, just so you can see kind of how close it is and how dangerous it is as well. The scenic route was amazing, and I was very grateful that Matt took me on that ride. Even though there were scary moments, I was very hopeful and felt strongly about how we could make it all the way through. We drove to Kanapali and then to Honolulu Bay, and then we were going to drive all the way back to Lahaina before it got dark. The ride back was a little more windy, and there was a lot less room on the side of the road than on the way out. Like on the way out, we kind of drove on the road sometimes because it was less busy roads. On the way back from Kanapali, we were passing Canoe Beach, and that's where trouble hit. The sun was setting and it was a beautiful sunset along the road, but I could tell that there was more cars and it was starting to become traffic hour. I started to feel very confined by the cars on the road, and you really had only two options, the road or the guardrail. And it was really hard to stay focused in the middle, especially me being a newbie. I was like, go fast, try to stay straight. And then all of a sudden, a car started to come into my lane, and I tried to turn away. And right when I was turning away, I was already yelling, "Matt, Matt, Matt!" I couldn't maintain balance, and all of a sudden I knew that I was going straight into the guardrail. My moped hit the rail hard on the front, and I flew over the bike. All I saw at that point was guardrail, 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 as my body bounced into the metal. The momentum kept taking me onto the rail, and I thought to myself how much I just wanted it to stop. So I stuck my hand out and swung my body around. My whole body was facing the opposite way in the road, and I started bleeding heavily out of my hand. I landed on my hip, and the rest of my body was just hanging over the guardrail. Everything stopped for a moment, and I just thought to myself, oh my God, I think I'm alive. I think I made it. I think I didn't die. And my body's just hanging over, and I could see the blood dripping, and I was trying to look for Matt, and I would start yelling, "Matt, Matt," and I could see him running towards me just on the road. All of a sudden, multiple people were yelling. Many people pulled over and were out of their cars trying to help. I heard a guy yelling, "I'm an EMT, I work for the medical field. Don't move her, don't move her, don't move her." Matt finally got next to me, and he tried to lift my head up a bit to see that I was okay. And the guy was yelling, "Don't lift her head, don't lift her head." And I kept trying to tell Matt, I was like, "I think I'm okay, I think I'm okay. Please, can you lift off the helmet? It's so heavy, it's so heavy." So he started to lift my head up, and the EMT got there and he helped unbuckle the helmet, took it off of me. And then I finally had my head off, but my hip was really hurting on top of the guardrail, and my body felt so heavy. I couldn't even feel my hand. I was just so numb with adrenaline. And then so I was telling them, "I think I'm okay, I think I'm okay. Please lift me off of the guardrail." And so I don't even know how many people, but somehow everybody grabbed my body, carried me so I was in the same position, and then laid me onto the hard road ground. I laid there for a while, and then a fire truck came, an ambulance came. It was so crazy. They started checking my whole body to make sure nothing else was wrong. I could feel rashes, like road rash on my hip. I started to feel my chest kind of come in and it become very, very tight. I told the EMT that I couldn't breathe and I was having trouble breathing, and asked them if they could do anything about that, but they couldn't. Some random guy picked up my sunglasses and was like, "I fixed your sunglasses," while the EMT was trying to check on me. I'm lying there just thinking, bro, I got like worse things to think about right now, but thanks for my shades. I guess they're kind of cute. A long ambulance ride, several x-rays, and many stitches on my finger later, the worst of my injury was treated. I had to schedule a full-on finger surgery for my index finger. I was given a sling for my fractured scapula and clavicle. My hip was cut and bruised, but nothing there was broken. My legs worked to the fullest. It was just very heavy with everything going on with my back. I have road rash on my arm and a lot on my thighs and hip. But overall, I am so lucky to walk out of there alive. Matt told me that someone else got in that same accident and hit the guardrail and cut their whole stomach open. You know, there's no question that this physical injury took a toll on me. I've gone on several doctor visits already. I may need physical therapy in the future for my shoulder. There's still pins in my finger. But what I will note as my biggest blessing is I spent $16 on trip insurance, and that covers $10,000 of emergency medical fees that occurred during my trip. So everything from the ambulance to the surgery, all of it that happened on Hawaii, even though I had my own medical insurance, not all of that was going to be covered. But now it's all covered because I bought the Alliance insurance that came with my flight. So definitely, if you're going on a big trip, buy that insurance. It was probably purchased just because I worried about lost baggage, but now it saved me at least $3,000 in hospital fees, maybe even more. Since the accident, my cousins in Hawaii have done more than I could have ever expected from them to take care of me. They literally bathed me every single night. In Hawaii, you can't get away with not taking a shower. It's so freaking humid. They fed me by the spoonful, and what I thought was going to be a fun vacation turned out to be an experience of learning how much family means to me, and that they would take care of me regardless of anything. I figured out my role to the world and to other people. A lot of people, you know, it's kind of like a test, as if I get to see what happened after my funeral, what people noticed that I was hurt, and what people really came to me like to show that they cared. Honestly, my emotional stress has surpassed my physical pain at this point. You know, I've been healing more and more every day. Pain meds have really helped, but I've seriously cried every single day. There's always been something that has proven to be another struggle. The Saturday after my accident, I flew to Oahu to visit my grandma. It was supposed to be a birthday surprise. She wasn't even supposed to know I was in Hawaii, but my aunt let her know that I was in the accident. So she did know I was coming, and I'll show you a little bit of that encounter when she first saw me. Come here, Grandma. She's my favorite person in the whole world, and she thought she lost me, when I am usually always worried about losing her. I can't believe that I made her feel like I was the one that was gonna die first. You know, she's 77 years old and still kicking, but I'm the one on a stupid moped that nearly died. I'm currently in San Antonio at my parents' house instead of California, where I actually have my full-time job. It sucks getting behind in work, but I realized also that my job, I work for Walsworth Yearbooks. They have proved to be an amazing company that's doing as much as they can to support me in this time of need. And I can't tell you how much I love that I'm alive and can continue to work hard for myself and for my family. I've had so much great support from family and friends, and even strangers on my path to recovery. So now, on to my favorite portion of this video. I'm really excited to thank everyone that has made a difference in my life. I did my best to memorize the names of every single person from the moment I got into the ambulance and met my EMT, all the way up until now, where, you know, even my hairdresser that cut my hair has made me feel so much better about who I am and how I can help other people in the world. I feel like before this accident, I've always done my best to serve an example as someone who is positive and loving to everyone that's close and important to me. And being in this accident never weighed me down. I, of course, did get emotional when a lot of things happened. But now I just want to go over how getting to see the kindness that comes from complete strangers has been very eye-opening and helps me believe that there's so much good in the world that can be celebrated. Alright, so the people I want to thank starts with Jesse. He's the EMT. He took 3 tries to get my IV in, but still, man, you're cool. Thanks for talking me down when I was in the ambulance and hitting me up with the pain meds when it mattered. Jamie, my x-ray specialist. You were very patient when I was in so much pain. Go Alabama. Rossett, Dr. Rossett, my anesthesiologist. That stuff was good. I felt light as a feather and you made me feel really calm, even though I woke up a little bit early in the surgery. You told me, hey, they're just wrapping you up, don't worry. And I was like, alright, cool. Nurse Carol, you helped me out when I was at the hospital for my surgery. Thank you. I forgot this other nurse's name, but she gave me some Finding Nemo stickers and put them all over me. Thank you. Dr. Galpin, who is my finger surgeon doctor. You killed it. You did amazing. Thank you. Carly, who is the nurse at Dr. Galpin's office. Appreciate how patient you were with me as well. And then here are some of the strangers that kind of helped me when I had to ride the airplane. So I rode around 4 airplanes so far because I went to Oahu, came back to Maui, and then I flew to LA, and then I flew to Texas. And so some of the strangers that I saw was Pastor Morocco, who is the main pastor down in Maui's biggest church. Then there is Mike, who is a motorcycle driver and also an EMT that told me what kind of ointment to use on my leg. There's Barbara, who is a beautiful missionary that bought me snacks on the airplane. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. You are so nice. And then there's Dennis, who shared his Doritos with me. He's a grandpa of some surfers that live in Guam. You were so cool as well. I also want to thank Rudy, Idalia, Kimberly, Yami, and Dr. Roland at the San Antonio Orthopedic Group. You guys have been doing my checkups since I've gone back. Then there's Stephanie at Style America, who gave me this awesome haircut. I've never cut my hair this short ever since I was a child. Because look at these fails. Gah! You gotta leave your hair long after looking like that for a while. So thank you for making me feel beautiful with my hair short. It really helps when I have to take a shower and there's not as much hair now. I also want to thank Janelle, my personal stylist that helped curl my hair. One of my favorite cousins in the whole world. Geraldine, who helped make me a makeshift glove when I wanted to go in the water. Gladys, for always being my second home in San Antonio and having the cutest kids ever. Sergio, Emerald, and Mari for being my best friends and coming to visit me. Maria, for also kind of helping me. Hopefully I can get a pedicure at the Hyatt Spa pretty soon. And then I of course want to thank my mom and dad. Even though you guys are really mad, you guys kind of held up on lecturing me to take care of me at the fullest capacity that you can while I'm here in SA. It's been kind of rough. You know, I know I've done a lot that doesn't make you proud, but at the same time, you guys still have always loved me. So thank you so much for everything you've done. I want to thank Sheldon Simeon for his top-notch cooking that I got to enjoy when I was in Hawaii. He is amazing. Go try his food. I have to thank his wife for being the most patient and caring nurse out of everyone. You've never once complained. You gave me showers at 11 or 12 p.m. at night. even after taking care of your 4 kids, and you are superwoman. I am so grateful that you're in our family, and you still let me call you like at midnight your time to talk over everything that's still going on with me. So I love you so much. Want to give props and thanks to your girls, Chloe, Quinn, Peyton, and your son Asher, for being the best bunch of well-behaved kids that I've ever seen. They're so cute. Gotta watch the other video to see how they are. Not last, but close to last, is of course my cousin Crizel Gutierrez. You have been so strong, and you have raised sons that brought so much joy in my life. You were the first to bathe me, and it was so crazy. You were such a trooper about even putting me in a diaper. I had to wear a diaper on my way back to LA just to be safe, you know, can't pee myself on the plane. And it's been so stressful with you because I know how hard you are, and it's so hard for you to take care of people when you're the kind of person that would always take care of yourself. So I appreciate everything that you've done for me, because I know that it's not easy for you, and it hasn't been easy at all. But I love you so much, and I'm gonna be here for you and wish the best for you. And then now on to Matt. You know, thank you for surviving and striving past this traumatic experience with me. I know you feel partially to blame, and over I've said that I forgive you, and I want you to be free of guilt. Because I know what could and couldn't have happened, and what we both have to live with. And overall, you were still one of the best people that could have ever been there for me when it happened. And you tried so hard to make it up to me and take care of me that week. So all I can say is, let's ride on with our life now. Let's be grateful for what there's still to come. Thank you for being there for me, because I know how hard it was and that things are still really hard. But you're always going to be the guy that was there for me when my bike hit the guardrail. And I'll never forget this experience. And I'm just grateful that it's made me a stronger person. And I hope that it makes you a stronger man as well. Please be there for my family. Crizel needs you. The boys need you. Send my love to my favorite nephews, Luke, Kato, and Malachi. They're so beautiful, and they've taken care of me too when I was staying at your house, so I can't wait to see them grow up. I appreciate those of you who are watching, and I'm grateful for all the love that I've got from my Hawaii family and how we tried to make the best of my visit. Again, watch the other video if you want to see how much fun I was still able to have regardless of everything. Last thing I want to say is don't ride mopeds. It's a terrible business in Hawaii. But much love, mahalo, and have a great day. Be happy that you're alive. I know I am.